Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody that knows there's no crying in baseball, welcome to the Wednesday Night Joke Net here on 146895 Repeater. And yes, we are keeping score. I am Kilo Echo 8, Papa Victor Lima, your net control for the evening. My name is Nemo, November Echo Mike Oscar, and I am located just a few clicks south of the repeater in beautiful Denmark Township. Before I go any further, is there anybody that needs this repeater for emergency or priority traffic? All right, nothing heard. If anybody needs this repeater for emergency or priority traffic, please check in please break in at any time with your call sign. We will concede the repeater for the duration of your emergency. Again, this is the Wednesday Night Joke Net here on the 146895 repeater. This is a directed net, and all traffic should go through net control. We all know there's a contest on here tonight to win a beautiful mug. I've already said the secret phrase, so hopefully you were paying attention. I won't repeat it again throughout the course of the net, but I will take answers during the check-in round. Everybody with a valid amateur license is encouraged to participate. The net meets every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on this repeater, and we really appreciate everybody who checks in. And, man, keep doing so, because I really like doing it too. So the purpose of this net is to have fun, making everybody laugh, coming up with crazy punchlines for this week's joke. This is a 3-round net, so please stick around. You may miss something. A lot of times we'll cover important topics. Before I go down the list of regular tech-ins, let me just break for time and make one or two quick operational statements. All right. This repeater is owned and operated by Tom, NHCT. It's available for public use. You can get to the repeater via Echolink, and I heard somebody out there checking in. We'll get to you in a minute. That node is W8IJC-L. Please treat the repeater like it's got a 2-minute timeout and allow for clean breaks between transmissions so the folks have a chance to get in if they need to. Other than that, we are good to go. I'm going to go down the list of regular check-ins and see who else here tonight. We're going to start pulling those in random order, as I promised a few folks. So we won't start at the top of the list. We're going to just start in the middle there. I believe we're going to go start off with Doug, KE8TBX. Are you with us tonight? Actually, I think you have a new call sign now, don't you?
Here is KE8 Tango Bravo X-Ray, and no, I have not yet signed up for a new call sign.
All right, Doug. All right, I got somebody else on here. I think it's Drew maybe then that has the new call sign. One of you guys has a new call sign. I know it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head, so if I'm spitting out your old one, bear with me for a minute because I didn't update the list last week. All right, next on the list, we're going to go to Drew, KE8QWH. Are you with us tonight?
Yeah, I'm here, and I have the new call. It's AA8DL, Alpha 8, Delta Lima.
All right, Drew, I will get that updated tonight. I promise you, and we'll get that in there. I've got you written down on my scratch paper log for being Alpha 8 Delta Lima. Good copy on that. And thanks for being here tonight. Next on the list, we've got Jerry N3 EVT. Are you around tonight?
After a 6.5-hour drive today, I am back in Northeast Ohio, N3 VT.
All right, Jerry, missed you on the last couple nets. Hope you had a safe round trip there, and you couldn't ask probably for better weather on your way back. All right, next on the list, we've got Joe, KE8DNF. Are you with us tonight? All right, nothing heard there. We'll go down the list here to Ruth Ann, Kilo Echo 8 Zebra Victor Oscar. Are you with us tonight?
Hi, I'm here. This is Ruth Ann, KE8VVO.
All right, Ruth Ann, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Next on my list, we've got W8DEC. Matt, are you around? All right, maybe he'll check in with us just a little bit later. I know he has a Zoom meeting with the Aries guys. I believe it's tonight, so we might not hear from him. Next on the list, how about KE8ZHH, Frank the Weatherman.
Yuppers, KE8, ZHH, I'm present.
All right, Frank, always a pleasure to have you with us, and appreciate you checking in tonight with us. We'll try Andrew, that is, W8IJC. All right, well, hopefully everything's going good with this radio station, because we miss having the SFI report being delivered by him personally and his great comments. All right, we're swinging up to the top of the list as it used to be. We'll go with Sonny, KD8 LHR. All right, I believe I heard him on the radio earlier today heading out towards work there. So he's probably a little too far away to check in, but maybe he'll think about us and punch in via HT somehow. All right, let's try Jeff, KC8 LAR.
KC8 LAR, we be here. Back to net.
All right, Jeff, very good. Thank you for being here tonight. Always a pleasure. Next on the list is Chris, KE8YQL. All right, nothing heard there. He might still be doing some chores. I bet he'll check in a little later on. We'll move down the list to Wayne, AC8YJ. All right, nothing heard from him. I bet he'll check in too. I know his work schedule just changed around the last couple of weeks, so he's been checking in a little later on the net. That's fine. Let's try Dan, N8DRL.
DRL via Echo Link. W8IJC Link.
All right, Dan, very good. Thank you for checking in via Echolink. I know sometimes you got a little problem getting out there from the bottom of that hill over in Conneaut. I always appreciate you being here, and it was great to see you over last weekend. Next on the list, let's go with Ron, KC8RJO.
KC8RJO here, standing by.
All right, Ron, always a pleasure. And I think rounding out the list, we're going to put him on the bottom. Jim, KE8, LFR, are you with us tonight? Okay, nothing heard there. Maybe he's stuck under a car. I know he does that quite often on his off hours. Still getting more work in there, and appreciate him when he takes his time out of his busy day to jump in here with us. I know I heard Echolink station check in just before the net started, so would that station please come? Okay, very good. I'm going to let that one fly. Any other stations wanting to check into the Wednesday Night JokeNet, please call.
W8KNO, Joe and Hiram.
W8KNO, I've got you locked in there. Man, it's good to hear from you. I know it's been a couple weeks. I'm glad you're doing all right. And you're good, strong signal up here in Ashtabula County. Thank you for joining us. Anybody else? Okay, nothing heard. We're going to lock in that list as we have it, and we'll get into this week's joke. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Once again, this is the Wednesday Night Joke Net. I am Nemo, KE8PVL, and this week's joke is, it's a good one. We'll all have a good laugh over this one. Why does a bee have sticky hair? This week's joke is, why does a bee have sticky hair? And Doug, you fell into the rotation in the hot seat tonight. So, KE8TBX, why does a bee have sticky hair?
Well, Nemo, I have absolutely no clue why a bee has sticky hair other than the fact that it uses it to pick up pollen. But that's not funny. KE8TBX.
All right, very good. To pick up pollen, that's definitely practical. Sometimes practical is funny too, so keep on with that too. We'll go down the list to Drew, Alpha 8, Delta Lima. Why do bees have sticky hair?
I'm drawing a blank on this one. I think I'm brained out for the week. Back to that.
Oh, I hate to jinx myself, but I got 2 stumpers in there. Very good. Maybe I'm gonna be on a roll this week. Knock one out the park. Out the park. There you go. Next on the list, we've got Jerry, N3 EVT. Why do bees have sticky hair?
Well, I have tried to puzzle this out quickly, and you have stumped me as well, Nemo, N3VT.
All right, 3 in a row. I think I'm doing pretty good here. It doesn't happen very often. Let's go down to Ruth Ann. Good to have you with us tonight. KE8ZVO, and why do bees have sticky hair?
I'm thinking if this came from my grandkid's joke book, it would be because it's a honeybee.
All right, because they're honeybees. Very good. We'll keep going down the list here. I like that one. Second, good comeback anyway. Let's move down the list to Frank. Kilo Echo 8, Zebra Hotel. Why do bees have sticky hair?
This is the first time I've ever been stumped, and I never gave an answer, but I've got to give an answer because I was given it. I don't know, because it's buzzed. That's my answer, because it's buzzed.
All right, quick word from the sponsor. This is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. And Frank, your answer, it's buzzed. I got that locked in there. That's a good one. All right, let's move down the list. Jeff, good to have you with us tonight. KC8LAR, why do bees have sticky hair?
Well, Nemo, that's a really good question, and I got to think about it a little bit. And I'm still not sure, but we're going to put out there something anyway. Yeah. I guess I'd have sticky hair if I was hunting honey too. We'll go with that one.
Okay, sticky hair because he's hunting honey too. Very good. We'll keep moving on down the list. Dan, checking in via Echolink. Thank you for being here with us tonight. N8DRL, why do bees have sticky hair?
I'm going to say because they use beeswax and they zero.
All right, very good, because they use beeswax. I like that one. And Maybe some Dapper Dan in there might help out a little bit. All right, next on the list, we've got Ron, KC8, RJO, and why do bees have sticky hair?
Well, Nemo, I think you got another stumped one. I don't know. Gonna just have to put me down as stumped. KC8, RJO, back to net control.
All right, another stumper in the books. Man, I think I'm doing okay tonight with this one. But Joe here, he's gonna reach out to us and give me a good answer. I know he is. W8KNO, Joe, good to have you with us. Been a while. Why do bees have sticky hair?
My guess is because they're droners.
Just a little static in there. I didn't quite catch that. Come one more time.
Because they are droners, D-R-O-N-E-R-S.
All right, because they're droners, and that rounds out the list as I have it. Thank you, Joe, for that good one. And this is KE8PVL and the Wednesday Night Joke Net. We're still in the joke round. Before I give the actual answer that I have, is there anybody else that wants to check in? Please call.
Any chance for a second try? This is KE8CVO, Ruth Ann.
Ditto, N3VT.
I don't normally do that, but we'll make an exception today. That's not a problem. Ruth Ann, go ahead. KE8ZVO, go ahead and change your answer.
Because he used the honeycomb.
All right, very good. And Jerry, N3EVT, go ahead with your new answer.
Well, I had to drop back to my youth and television, remembering 77 Sunset Strip, where Kooky always had a theme song, Kooky, Kooky, lend me your comb. And from comb, I came up with honeycomb as well.
All right, very good. I got you both changed over to honeycomb. And before I go any further, is there anybody else who wants to check in? Please call. All right, nothing heard. I'm going to go ahead and get the answer out there. And tonight's joke, why do bees have sticky hair? And it is indeed because they use a honeycomb. Because they use a honeycomb. But I got a lot of stumpers tonight, and I'm happy with that one. And there's some really good answers. People using their heads and thinking about some good answers. I like the drones, and I like the beeswax one there, Dan. That one was really good too. All right, this is KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. I'm going to go down some housekeeping real quick, and then we'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, let's see. The Aries District 10, Ashtabula County Training Net is every Monday night over on the 146715 repeater. That repeater is at 8 p.m. and located in Jefferson Township. That net meets at 8 p.m. every Monday night, and the repeater is located over in Jefferson Township. It has a standard offset and a PL tone of 141.3. Please check in over there and give emergency services in Ashtabula a hand. Everybody's welcome. All right, also over on the 146940 repeater, located just a few miles south in Chardon, every morning is the trivia net over there at 9 a.m. Please go ahead and key up over there, learn something, and have some fun. It's a great net. I've actually gotten a chance to check into it a couple times this week, and gosh darn it, I know I've been missing it. So key up over there and check them out. 146940, they also have a standard offset and a PL tone of 110.9. The Tri-County Traffic Training Net is also over there Sunday, Tuesday, Friday at 9 p.m. local time. Or not on that repeater, but they meet Sunday, Tuesday, Friday at 9 p.m. local time on a repeater very close to there, and that repeater's frequency is 147015. They also have a standard offset and a PL tone of 110.9. They do some really cool stuff with traffic handling. They do teach everybody how to train, pass traffic back and forth, do message grams and all that. Very useful in emergency and disaster situations. All right, please check out the Wednesday Night Joke Net on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. The last week's YouTube audio is going to go up at the same time this one is. I had some technical difficulties last week, and it just been so busy, it's been taking me a minute to get everything up there. So let me break for time real quick. All right, and as I said earlier, every net I changed the greeting just a little bit, and that greeting includes a catchphrase that refers to a movie, TV show, radio show, podcast, some kind of video programming / radio programming in popular culture. It might not be new. It might be old. Not going to repeat this week's catchphrase because we're actually paying attention this week. So if you think you know what it was, go ahead and give us the guess for the catchphrase at any time. I prefer during the check-ins, but that's all right. And we'll get an awesome prize out to you. I've got these great coffee mugs that we're going to be sending out to everybody. The person who guesses the most correct at the end of the month will get one. All right. That's it. That's all the announcements I have. If you have a joke that you'd like to submit, please send it to me one way or another. I have a Telegram account. We have Facebook accounts, YouTube accounts. Just send it to me. Text me if you got my number there. That's fine too. And we'll put it in the rotation. All right. This is KAPVL with the Wednesday Night Joke Net. And I am going to be quiet for a minute. And let's get into why everybody's really here. All right, Doug, KE8TBX, thank you for being here tonight. Always appreciate it. Great seeing you out at Winter Field Day and all that. I don't know if we went down that list or not. I think we did. We had one net maybe between here and there. Either way, it was still a pleasure seeing you out there and chatting with you. And man, great job, everybody that was there. Doug, go ahead.
Here is KE8 Tango Bravo X-Ray. I really don't have much going on other than getting stumped by jokes. KE8TBX, back to net.
All right, very good. Next week I'll do a joke about trees so that everybody can really be stumped. All right, big pun there. Next on the list, Alpha 8, Delta Lima. Drew, I'm going to get your call sign blocked into my head here pretty soon. What do you got for us this evening, man?
I was out of town in Denver from basically Sunday morning until like just a few hours ago. So that was interesting and fun, and I had a good time out there on a work project. And now I'm back and just kind of unwinding, hanging out with the dogs, waiting for the wife to come home in a bit, and just gonna take a day or two off and get caught up on the chores around here, and just kind of. I was putting in a lot of hours for a while there, so I'm just going to take a little bit of time off to not put any in. So, yeah, but just basically unwinding. So, glad to be back on the radio. I didn't take radio out there this time. So it's almost become like an itch you got to scratch these days. So, anyways, AADL, back to that.
All right, very good. Yeah, I had a friend move out to Denver, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, and dropped off the face of the earth. I know he's doing all right because I talked to mutual friends, but man, he liked it there so much he just decided not to come back. He came back for like a week to pack all his stuff and then went right back out there. All right, very good. Next on the list, we've got Jerry, N3EVT. Glad to have you back up this way. And what do you got for us this evening?
Well, Nemo, because of my absence, I missed your winter field day, and I know it's old news now and maybe repetitious, but I wonder if you could tell me what the high point was and what you would do differently next year. And the other question is this the appropriate time to answer your question at the beginning of the net?
All right, so before I get into answering that question for you on the field day thing, and I will, you can answer that you can answer the mystery show question anytime you want. So go ahead.
Well, I remember the coach of the women's baseball team played by Tom Hanks, and it was in A League of Their Own, which is a wonderful movie. Great fun.
All right, and go on with your comments there.
All right, the only comment is my query about Winterfield Day. Nothing more to report here.
All right, very good. Just a quick rundown. I would guess that we didn't actually take we didn't have like a sign-in sheet, but I would guess we had 30 people show up, and we had about 6 or so that stayed full time. I know Sonny, myself, Jeff, Dan actually in ADRL there. He stayed full time. Andrew, he stayed full time. I think we had Frank there most of the time, and Ruth Ann came. That was my biggest thing from there is Ruth Ann coming, being such a new ham and just jumping right into all of it. So that's where that's at for me. The other thing too, I guess my big thing with what we probably should do next year more would be we got some band pass filters, and they did a pretty good job, but they needed to be grounded better. So we just got to make sure we do that. Let me real quick go ahead, and hopefully that's enough for you. Maybe a couple of other folks can jump on there and talk about that a little more. And actually, that's going to be the discussion topic, some stuff in there with that at the end here. So let me just move down the list here to Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Always a pleasure. And what do you got for us this evening?
Hi, this is Ruth Ann. I went down to Columbus, had great weather to pick up my radio. Had a great visit with Mike, who sold it to me. His wife came with him. It turns out she's a nurse. We had a great conversation. I now have the whole kitchen rearranged so that the radio's on the desk, and I have everything I need up to the wall. A break for a second. So I need advice on, does anyone agree that a block at the bottom of the window would work? Anthony Luska from my class was talking about one of the options, and that would be a really simple solution for us here to route everything through a board under the window. So that's my question. Back to net. KE8ZVO.
Okay, just my suggestion on that would be to make yourself like a 2-inch tall and maybe 1-inch thick piece of board that you can fit the width of the window in, and with a maybe a 1-inch hole, and just fill that whole thing with spray foam insulation, and then maybe some bubble wrap, some what we call double bubble in construction. And it's like a silver bubble wrap that's very thin, and then just close the window right down on top of it. That should give you some pretty good insulating properties and allow you to run wires and cables through that as needed. I hope that helps you out there. And anybody else that wants to toss their 2 cents in on that, I'm sure they can. If you ain't got nothing else for us, we'll move down the list. Go ahead.
Just a quick comment, Ruth Ann, to know that you've probably compromised the integrity of the window, and so you should make sure that you put a block in there so that someone from the outside could not simply lift your window.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. A lot of these newer vinyl windows have actually pop-out lock thingies that stick out, keep you from letting the window open up all the way. So that make sure you're using those too. let me go ahead and move on down the list here. We'll go down to Jeff, KC8LAR. Good to have you with us tonight, as always, man. And what do you got for us?
Oh, not a whole lot. Let's see here. Were we doing the? Let's see. What would we do differently? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what I'd do differently. We definitely could have used some more organization. And I think the board is a good idea, Ruth Ann. I'm like scatterbrained tonight, but yeah, as long as you got a way to lock it down, the board does work. I've done that as a temporary and semi-permanent fix. But yeah, that's other than that, just working, and with that, I guess we'll pass it back to net control.
All right. Well, I definitely understand working, and I know I was off for a little while there. I'm glad to be back at it personally. All right. Next on the list, we've got Dan, N8DRL. Good to have you with us tonight via Echolink. And what do you got for us, man? N8DRL, are you still with us?
A8VHH. Oh, Dan said his phone died.
All right, well, we'll give him a chance to get back in here a little later on, and we'll keep going down the list. Ron, KC8RJO, always a pleasure to have you with us, and what do you got for us, man?
Good evening, Nemo and the group. Just kind of enjoyed seeing some sunshine today, and kind of enjoying that. I'm just going to mention a couple of upcoming things that I think most people are aware of, but in case not, there's a Aries conference, District 10 conference coming up this next a week from this Saturday, I believe it's the 17th, and you can look up the information on that. And then there's a Skywarn session coming up, and it's going to be at ATEC in April. So you can look up the weather. Now I can't think of the name of the weather thing in Skywarn, and see about that. See if you want to register for it. So don't really have anything else from me or for the good of the order either. So with that, KC8RJO back to net control.
All right, Ron. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in the Skywarn thing myself there, and I might just jump on that one too in April. All right, next on the list, we've got Joe, W8KNO. Thanks for being here tonight, man. It's been a while. How you been?
Well, thank you, Nemo, and good evening to everyone. The weather's been nice a couple days, up in the upper 50s, so I went out and I worked on my antennas, the 2 meter, the 70 centimeter, and the 80 meter antenna, and so I thought I would try it out tonight, and that is why I'm here. Back to you, Nemo.
Oh, well, you're sounding pretty good into the repeater this evening, especially from Hiram there. That's great. Really appreciate you checking in up here. Did get your QSL card from you, and I really appreciate you sending that out to me, too. All right, very good. This is KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night JokeNet. That puts me at the bottom of the list. Before we go any further, is there anybody that wants to check in, or, anybody who wants to check in, please call.
KC8GSL.
KC8GSL, Raymond, I got you in there. Anybody else? All right, nothing heard. Raymond, good to have you with us tonight, man. Thanks for checking in. Tonight's joke is why do bees have sticky hair? I don't know if how long you've been around for that, but you can go ahead with that answer. We're in the comment round, so great to have you with us tonight, man, and go ahead with your comments.
Why do bees have sticky hair? Sticky hair? Something with wax? I don't know, I'm kind of stumped. I'm a little tired too, but why do they have sticky hair? Well, because they're always in honey. I know it's kind of a generic word or answer, but because they're always in honey, and it's not even funny. Anyways, I'm doing pretty good here. It's been a busy day, and been working a lot, and fortunately I got to work day shift today. I was going to get on a little earlier. It slipped my mind after doing some duties, and I heard you guys key up there. I was like, oh my gosh, today's Wednesday, and I actually have the evening off. So I thought I'd check in there, say hi to the group, and as always, good show today. I mean, I heard you make some announcements, and good to hear some familiar and some unfamiliar people in there. But doing pretty good. Just a reminder, we have a testing session this Sunday at 5:30. I don't know if you talked to Sonny yet, Jeff, but if anybody's interested for an upgrade or their initial ticket, we'll be doing that. So, but it's good hearing you guys. I'm glad to be checking in. I'm glad to be checking in on a Wednesday. Usually I'm working seconds, but we had a case manager out, and I've been kind of covering that area. But nice to hear you guys. KCAGSO, back to the net, Nemo.
All right, well, pleasure to have you with us as always, Raymond, and glad you're able to check in. Did you want to kick your email address out there or something in case anybody wanted to get in touch with you for the testing?
I'll actually kick out my phone number because it's on the Laurel net. It's 440-645-2641. Once again, that's 440-645-2641.
All right, very good, and we thank you for doing that part of the whole amateur radio hobby, man. It's without guys like you, we wouldn't have new hams, so to speak. You're the reason that we get guys in here. All right, that puts me again at the bottom of the list. So, is there anybody else that wants to check into the Wednesday Night Joke Net? Please call.
K8 Oscar Kilo checking in, and I got to check out. Roger.
KE8 Oscar Kilo. Thank you for the check-in tonight. I'll put you down as an in and out. Every number counts. Anybody else? All right, nothing heard. Very good. And, man, it's great to have all the folks that checked in tonight and a few that haven't checked in a while. Let me go into we'll go into the discussion round. Some of this may not affect everybody on the here because they they don't have some of this stuff. I'm on several social media groups, and specifically the guys who manage Winterfield Day. They set up a Facebook page for it, and I just want to say the amount of crying that people are doing about Winterfield Day is just ridiculous, especially the ones that there's a whole bunch of people complaining about 1H stations and how it's not fair that there's 1H stations and that they shouldn't count and blah, 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 blah. I just can't believe the amount of drama that I see sometimes there. One of the reasons why Amigos Radio Club Ashtabula started and existed was because we wanted to try and cut down on some of the drama that we see out there. And it's just, I actually tried to start a hashtag All Stations Matter because it was just so bad. People were literally complaining that nobody was going out in tents in the middle of the 4 foot of snow. And don't get me wrong, let me break. Oh, wait. Before I get into that discussion topic, I would be amiss if I didn't turn this whole thing over to Frank. KE8ZHH, I almost skipped out on you, and I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and turn this over to you for the weekly weather report and your comments, man.
Alrighty, thank you, Nemo. First of all, I'd like to mention to Ruth Ann, if she's still out there, about issue there, or those temperature for the hot water pipes. They're made out of foam, and they squish down real nice for the windows, and you can lock your windows. I thought I'd mention that real quick. But anyways, now to the weather. This is Frank the Weather Guy in Pierpont Township. And current weather conditions in Pierpont Township are 32 degrees with 71% humidity, and the barometric pressure is at 29.18 inches and is holding steady. Wind is out of the south at 1 mile per hour. Today's high was 53 degrees, and low was at 32 degrees. For tomorrow, expect mostly sunny skies with highs around 55 degrees and a low of 33 degrees, and mostly clear nighttime skies. Record high for today in weather history stands at 60 degrees in 1968, and the record low is at -7 in 1971. Sunrise will be at 7:27 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:46 p.m. And now for some weather trivia. You're not going to believe this one. On April 7th, 1956, in Unionville, Maryland, 23 inches of rain fell just in 60 seconds. Yes, in 1 minute, and that's no joke. 23 inches of rain fell in just 60 seconds. And finally, the weather joke of the week. How do you prevent a winter cold? How do you prevent a winter cold? Get a bunch of bees. No, just kidding. Catch it in the summer. You catch it in the summer. This is KE8VHH, the weather guy, and I'm going to send it back to Net Control and Nemo. Thanks for listening.
All right, that was an awesome joke there too. Catch it in the summer, I like that. And some good advice there with the pool noodles. Those work out great too. And again, thanks Frank for doing what you do for us on the net tonight. Appreciate it. All right, into the discussion round. So like I was saying there, this is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. There were some great photos posted up from Winter Field Day. People out in tents and snow and all that. But there was a lot of people crying about the H1, the 1H stations, and how many there were, and that they didn't want them to count. Me personally, I'd say all stations count because it's what it is. If there's a disaster, not everybody's gonna be able to snatch up their radios and run out to the woods or wherever, and there a lot of folks are gonna just be right at home or on their houseboats and all that stuff. So anyway, that's kind of my discussion topic for this evening is hashtag all stations matter. So especially, I got folks that are 75 years plus in our group, 80 plus in our clubs. We can't expect them to sit in parkas with torpedo heaters out in the snow all for a full 24 hours without freezing some toesies off. All right, so let's go up to the top of the list. KE8TBX, Doug, good to have you with us tonight as always. And what do you think? Hashtag all stations matter?
Well, Nemo, my first experience with the field day was when I went up and helped you guys install stuff. And then I hung around long enough to see how it worked. And then I came home and tuned in and listened. And I tell you what, I don't think I could do it right now. It's difficult, especially when you're listening to a pile-up. But as far as individual stations, 1H. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, not everyone has a station they can just pack up and walk out of their house with. And ham radio is all about learning, it's all about becoming proficient, and it's all about having fun. So if you can't do that, move on, get another life. KE8, TBX, back to net.
All right, very good. I agree with you on all those points, which is why I was actually one of the few times I've thought about pulling myself off of a Facebook group. All right, next on the list, Alpha 8, Delta Lima. Drew, good to have you with us tonight. What are your thoughts? Hashtag all stations matter.
My position is that, the more people that participate, the better. It's kind of supposed to be an outreach event, and it's also if you're gonna, wherever you're gonna be operating from, the more people who are operating, the more contacts you're gonna have. So it seems to me if there weren't all these 1Hs, it'd be a lot less action. So it's really about the action to a large degree. But I don't disagree with people who think that they should be weighted differently, and I don't know how the scoring is done now, but obviously if you're out in a tent, you should get a higher score or higher multiplier or something than if you're sitting in the comfort of your house. I don't disagree with that, and then, that'd be fair. Let me break for time for a second. But ultimately, I just kind of feel bad that they're at home because you can have a lot of fun with your radio at home. We all do, but I think I had a blast getting out to meet everybody. I wish I could have stayed longer. I know some people have situations, where they can't get out of the house for whatever reason. They have responsibilities and such, but if they were just sitting there at home because they don't have a good radio club, that's too bad, and I'm glad we do have one. So back to net.
All right, very good. And I don't entirely disagree with the outdoor, the stations forming up as an O category, getting some kind of extra multiplier. But is that, in summer field day, it's not as big a deal. But in winter field day, like I said, we should have 3 feet of snow on the ground right now, and we don't. We're skating this year, and we're lucky. It's much harder to be in. I would think, in my opinion, to be in a 4-0 in Ashtabula County, Ohio, than it would be a 8 or 9 or 10 or even a 14-0 in like Florida, which I heard over the radio a couple times, stations calling in that category. So there still would need to be some balance therein, I would think, somehow. All right, next on the list, Jerry, N3 EVT. I know you're not a big contester, but what are your thoughts? Hashtag all stations matter.
All right, I think I'm behind the curve on this issue, so I'll just pass N3VT.
All right, very good. This is K8PVO with the Wednesday Night Joke Net, making sure I ID one more time. Next on my list, we've got Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO, and what are your thoughts on hashtag all stations matter?
Hi, Ruth Ann. I agree that they should all count, but maybe there should be more ways for a group that has set up in some kind of, tough situation. Because that might be what has to happen someday. Back to net, KEACO.
All right, very good. I know the first time we did Winter Field Day kind of as a club, and we were founding things together and putting it together. We just did it here at my house. We were a 3H, and I know I made contacts with a few 3 and 4H stations. One guy, I actually saw his picture from Winter Field Day. He registered as an 8 station, but he was sitting in his backyard. I mean, technically he was an O station, but he registered as an H because he didn't go anywhere. So anyway, that's here or there. Next on the list, we've got Frank, KE8ZHH. What are your thoughts? Hashtag all stations matter. right, very good. Yeah, and I agree. It should all be about fun, and you know the one station one person I saw complaining was about high-powered amplified radio stations at home having an advantage over the other stations. But really, you're not supposed to do more than 100 watts anyway. But I know I've heard even during Summerfield Day people cranking it up just a little bit more to work through that pile up or to manage it better or whatever. So it you know, we are on an honor system with all of that for the most part. So yeah, it is what it is on that. But I definitely see the need for I don't know if I agree with changing the H1 designation to something lesser than the O's. All right, next on the list is we've got Jeff, KC8 LAR. Good to have you with us tonight, man. And what are your thoughts? Hashtag all stations matter.
Well, Nemo, I think you're right. All stations matter. How they want to weight them is up to them. They originated the contest. So, hey, that's them. But you take away a lot of the home stations. I think Drew's right. You take away a lot of the action. There's a lot of people that can't get out or can only get out for a short time or can't trek out into the woods. So you just got to kind of bear that in mind. But hey, let it roll what it is, and you know, it's one of those things. I think that you're always going to have those detractors, fun suckers, if you will. You know, that's going to try to make it about life isn't fair or whatever. Put on your big boy, big girl pants and carry on. KCLAR, back to net control.
All right, very good, and I appreciate those comments. And yeah, like I said, on the just responding to the one of many posts about this that I saw on the internet was, you know, a lot of these guys are talking about they can't get out to the field day sites, especially if they're remote, way back off in the woods, or whatever, or don't have the ability to sit. You know, you get cold all winter long, or in the winter time. There are 75 and up crew, and those are our Elmers. I don't personally, you know, they're going to register as 1Hs, and I think you shouldn't be excluding them at all, because those are the guys who actually still know how to manage traffic and still know how to pass messages and still know how to do all the ham radio emergency stuff, kind of like that is the spirit of field day in the first place. So I don't know, changing those categories around might be different. Maybe it should be weighted a little different. I don't know. But I think all of them should count. All right, next on the list, Dan, N8DRL. Thank you for being here tonight. Hopefully you got your radio back up and running. Let's reach out to you and see what's going on there. All right, nothing heard. Well, it was good to have him in while it lasted. And we'll hear from him again next week, I hope. Next on the list, we've got Ron, KC8 RJO. How about it, man? Winterfield Day, hashtag all stations matter. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think all stations matter. There's a set of rules that comes out with each field day, and supposedly everybody follows the same rules. So there is a provision for 1H, obviously, so they're completely, for lack of a better word, legal. I guess I don't really understand what the complaint is, and I agree with what a couple of others said. More people that participate, the more active ham radio is, more exposure we get to the hobby, to other people. And somebody else said there's always going to be some detractors out there. It seems like no matter what group we're in, there's somebody that has to complain about something. I think the best thing is just, like you do a kibitzer, just ignore them and go on. So, and also what you said, Nemo, some people, the only option is to operate from home. So I don't have any problem with 1Hs. and I don't see why they should. We all follow the same rules, and that's all I'll say about that. KC8RGO, back to net control.
All right, very good responses there, Ron. Appreciate that. Next on my list is we're going to reach back out to Hiram. I hope he's still around. I know he's got a few minutes before his next net. Joe, W8KNO, what are your thoughts? Winterfield Day, hashtag all stations matter.
Good evening, and yes, I believe all stations matter, though I do, talking about the home stations and all, I like the contest where you limit it to 100 watts. That gives everyone an even share. Listening to some of the things, stations running from home, running 1,500 watts, they get to dominate a little bit. You don't get to work as many people as you would do if everyone was still limited to 100 watts. That's my thought about it, Reno, and thank you. Everyone have a good evening, and I'll talk to you next week, I hope.
All right, Joe, we do too. And yeah, that's my thought on the 100-watt thing too, is that whole rule is really there just to balance it all out. Okay, hitting the bottom of the list is Ray, KC8 GSL. Great to have you here tonight with us, man. And how about it? Hashtag all stations matter. KC8 GSL, Ray, are you still with us? All right, well, it looks like we lost him. That's all right. He's either down the hall or talking to his new girlfriend. I know he's got one of those. Haha, we'll poke the bear and tease him a little bit. All right, this is KEAPVL with the Wednesday Night JokeNet. Like I said, that put us at the bottom of the list. So is there anybody else that wants to check in or recheck before we wrap things up? Okay, nothing heard. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put a bow on it and bring this net to a close. Again, thank you all for being here this evening. Without you guys, this net couldn't happen. I'd also like to thank Tom, N8CT, for the use of this repeater, as well as all those currently serving and retired from service to our country. Your sacrifices will not be forgotten. Thank you very much for serving this country. This is KE8PVL. I'm going to go ahead and return the repeater back over to normal amateur radio use, whatever that is. Be good to each other, everybody. KE8PVL clear.
Ruth Ann, do you have a second?